We are here today to argue that we should impose a $100 per day fine on law enforcement in the two following circumstances. The first circumstance is if an officer of the law imprisons someone and charges aren't filed by the prosecutor, then the officer will have to pay the falsely imprisoned $100 for each day they spend incarcerated. The second circumstance is if the prosecutor wrongly incarcerates someone and it comes to light later on that the prosecutor did, then the prosecutor must pay the falsely incarcerated $100 a day for every day they were wrongly incarcerated. This law will help deter two circumstances and provide a check and balance against the way we reward law enforcement. Currently, they are rewarded with how many people they hurt, but there is no check, which leaves them wanting to jail everybody in an attempt to rise in the ranks in the police department or becoming a judge. As such, it is beneficial to them to go after both legal and illegal actors. The first circumstance that this would deter is what we experienced during Occupy Wall Street. They arrested many people for disturbing the peace and other trumped up charges when they were just peacefully protesting, and yet few, if any, were actually charged with the crimes that they were arrested for. This violates our right to protest, and it happens at any protest. They have learned how to take away our right to protest and argue that we don't deserve that right because protests are inconvenient. But the very nature of protesting is supposed to be inconvenient. If there was a personal punishment that they faced in advance of this, then they might have protected the people's rights rather than the rights of the elite. The second thing that happens once or twice a year is that suddenly new evidence comes to life, and it turns out that people were unfairly convicted due to false prosecution. The most glaring of this was the case of the hurricane. He was released and got an apology and nothing else. We need everything in our power to make sure this never happens again. And to do that, our prosecutors need a reason to get it right rather than just a reason to succeed at all costs.